Lance, turning to 2017, DEKALB will introduce DEKALB Disease Shield corn. Can you give us an overview of that product lineup?
Sure. Disease Shield hybrids combine very high levels of disease resistance to multiple important foliar diseases of corn, along with some of our highest yielding genetics and our most elite seed treatments. So it's a really nice package of disease resistance, high yield potential, plant health, and then we kind of top it off with our enhanced disease control seed treatment package. And what makes the Disease Shield hybrids unique in their disease resistance is, there's 5 particular specific diseases that we feel are the most important diseases in corn. Those would be gray leaf spot, northern corn leaf blight, southern rust, anthracnose stalk rot, and Goss's wilt. And not all 5 of those diseases are important to every farmer in Illinois every year, but all of those diseases do occur from time to time in Illinois. And the thing that makes the Disease Shield hybrids unique is that they have a very high level of disease resistance to all 5 of those important diseases. And so we're very excited about the introduction of those products this year. Gary had mentioned earlier that he hadn't had a chance to plant those this year. Well, really nobody did. They were just in plots in 16. Performed exceptionally well in trials, and those are available commercially for the first time for planting in 17.
Monsanto's XtendiMax with Vapor Grip technology dicamba herbicide has received EPA and Illinois state approval for use with Roundup Ready to extend soybeans. Lance, how will that provide Illinois farmers with a new weed control tool?
Well, it's just that, Megan. It is a great new tool to add to the toolbox. And as soybean weed control has gotten more difficult the past few years, you can't have too many tools to keep weeds down in soybean fields. So, I've been in this business long enough to have been around when we launched Roundup Ready technology 20 years ago. And we think the launch of the Extend system is going to be every bit as much of a revolution in weed control as the original Roundup Ready trait was. So having dicamba to be able to work into that system to give us an opportunity to have better control of some of the tough to control broadleaves, especially those that are developing resistance, things such as water hemp and Palmer amaranth in the south, and mare's tail and some of the other species that we struggle with from time to time. Just giving us a very good tool to give us a high level of control with good crop safety and an excellent yield that comes along with the Extend germplasm. We think will make that a very very popular, very successful system, and we're very excited to finally be able to get that in the marketplace next year.
Gary, as we head into 2017, what did you learn from this past growing season, and how does that help you maybe prepare for the next season as well?
Well, I think I continue to be encouraged and impressed with the way the yields and varieties are, the yields that are coming from the varieties, their vigor. I think that was very obvious this year. Lance talked a little bit about the beans and the weeds and those type of things. But, on the flip side, everything has a cost of doing business, and, we have to continue to be profitable. So for me, I'm a little different than a lot of farmers. It has to be about yield, because at the end of the day, when you look at any other business, what do? They do it by volume, which is for us is yield. And one of my favorite sayings is just costs as much just to raise a bad crop as a good crop. So we have to look at it more as a business, and we have to look at those margins, and it has to be yield. So for me, this is the first year that I'm going to be able to take data and figure out what I did right and what I did wrong, and try to do that. The seed side of it, this is not an environment that we need to be making a lot of changes. You got to stay with what you know, because we can't afford any oh shoot moments. So for me, I'm going to stay the course and stay with the products that I know. I'm going to try the new exciting products, absolutely, when they're available. I think they bring us a lot of promise. But those are things that I'm focusing on for 2017. I think we're all in for a little tough period here, so we just got to make sure we do the right things and stay profitable, or at least break even.
Thanks, Gary. Lance, based on the experience, from maybe this growing season and your experience, what should farmers consider when they're making decisions for 2017, and what's top of mind?
Well, I think Gary's comments around, risk management and controlling costs, but not at the expense of yield, are very appropriate. Your cost of production, typically the number one factor driving cost of production is yield, and anything we do to trim costs without sacrificing yield can improve the bottom line. But if we start trimming costs and at the expense of yield, that's very likely not to improve your bottom line. So as we're looking for things we can save money on, ways we can reduce expenses, we need to make sure we're not cutting in areas that will sacrifice yield. I think we need to be, managing our crop rotations going into next year. I think there's going to be some unique things going on. There's probably going to be some second-year beans out there in areas that's a little bit uncommon. At least we'll see more of that than we normally do. Probably going to be less corn on corn than there's been typically, but that's still going to be a system that the guys are going to be using. So we're going to have continuous corn. We'll maybe have some continuous soybeans. We'll have a lot of rotated acres like we always do, and trying to get the right product on the right acre and get them positioned appropriately. In addition to that, planting a good package of diverse products. Gary mentioned sticking with what you know, and having a lot of diversity of products out there. We really never know what Mother Nature's going to throw at us. This year we had some extreme conditions that kind of all rolled up into a really great year. If we'd have been a little hotter at certain times, or if we'd have been a little drier longer, if we'd have been as wet as we were in July and August, in May and June, it would have been a totally different outcome. And so being prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws at you, that you can hopefully maintain the highest yield possible, I think needs to be a goal.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Here's to a great 2017 growing season.
Thank you. Thanks.
To find out more information, talk with your local DEKALB Asgrow dealer or visit DEKALB.com and Asgrow.com. I'm Megan Grebner for Brownfield.